Well, this is the one you've been waiting to see, mate.
Steve Vick, watch this guy. He's fabulous. He has every single kick in the book. A beautiful fighter. He's got good hands, but his best point are his kicks. They're brilliant.
And he's up against Tony Lapia.
Tony Lapia. I don't know much about this guy, but I predict that Tony will be in for one hell of a fight tonight.
Very experienced fighter, this Steve Super Kick too. He is 12 fights gone. And so Tony Lapia has also 8 fights. So the boys are pretty experienced. Going to be tough.
It will be
70 kilos too for Tony Lapia. 8 fights, 6 wins, 3 KOs.
Tony Lapia, he looks pretty mean.
And he's got the slick back going.
He got a nice, that little bit of a warm-up there. Nice front kick and a turning kick. So maybe he's got some nice kicks about him too.
And he's wearing his belt with pride. No doubt he wants to take that belt home with him as well.
Steve Super Kick Vick.
You said he has a very strong martial arts background.
No, he's obviously come from a martial arts background which does a lot of kicking, because he has every kick in the book, this guy.
69.3 kilos, 12 fights, 10 wins, 50% KO record on those wins.
And a lot of those KOs would be by the feet.
Early on in the fight too, I would suggest, when he's fresh.
Yes. But he's got such good technique, he doesn't have to use a lot of energy to kick. Whereas a lot of these other guys who hop in the ring, they seem to take a great deal of effort to pick their legs up. But
well, he obviously shops in a very stylish shop, a nice gold, how would you call it, overcoat there for him to come into the ring in.
There's a splendid looking character, both in dress and technique.
Well, I don't know what they're all smiles about, but obviously...
he's a great favourite with the crowd.
Is he? Well, I thought they knew something that we didn't. But anyway, he's got gold shorts on too, mate, so he likes a little bit of the flamboyance. These two boys are eyeballing one another. Very solid boy, a lot of definition.
And it must be pointed out that Steve Vick is the challenger.
Oh, is he really? Tony Lapia, of course, as I said before. Yeah, very good point. The belt was on his waistline, and hopefully Steve can put it onto his. It'll be very interesting to see, and of course we're looking for a big kick fight from Steve. What sort of fight Tony Lapia can come up with to combat that, we'll have to wait and see. Round 1.
Let's hear that thrusting side kick. He'll keep Tony away all night.
Now this is for the super welterweight title, South Pacific. 10 2-minute rounds, a little bit longer in duration, with of course the 1-minute mandatory break in between.
See what Steve Vick was doing there. He's doing a hook kick, then coming back with a turning kick.
Okay, once again. Okay, I'm just watching these two boys now work it in and around. Let's see how that... Whoa, that was a slip. Definite slip. Definite slip.
Steve Vick.
Definite slip. Yeah, she just got him wiping his feet. He's actually called time out here. Now, this is what we were talking about earlier on, the fact that the boys are slipping on this canvas tonight. Maybe they're going to have to look at using a more porous canvas as we work forward to some more bouts. Now, the ref's come in here. It's called time again. He's instructing him on those low leg kicks to keep them to the lateral side of the body. Super Kick's looking in great shape tonight. So is Tony Lapia. It's a credit to these two boys. All big right from Steve. But then Tony Lapia comes straight back with lefts and rights. These two fellas are going to trade this out. We're looking at a very good fight here.
Well, that's shaping up to be a beauty. This Tony Lapia.
Wayward right hand.
He is the champion, and he will not let it go easily. Look at that. Reverse hook
big
kick.
Reverse
hook kick by Steve Vick. It did miss. Tony Lapia getting out of the way in time.
Tony counters very well in that situation.
He's got Steve. Let's see how Steve can work out from the ropes. He moves very well on his feet. And, of course, he's mixing it with Tony at the moment. Tony Lapia coming up with a roundhouse kick to Steve Vick's
Geez, he likes
leg.
to blaze that roundhouse, doesn't he? Geez, he does it well. I can see what you're talking about, Super Kick.
Yes, Tony's an interesting style of fighter. He's an uncompromising type of fighter.
Oh, good little right from Tony Lapia. He snuck that in. We complete round 1. I think there's a little bit of animosity between these boys.
Yes, it's as we said, it's shaping up to be a big one. Has everything, this fight. We have one who's a walk-up style fighter, the other one who has brilliant kicking technique.
Round 2, as we said, 10 2-minute rounds. These boys are going to have to be very, very fit.
They'll have to pace themselves very well, mate. But, of course, judging by that first round, they were moving at quite a lightning pace.
Both very healthy-looking boys, too. So I'd say that they're very, very conscientious about their diet and training techniques that they use.
Steve.
Oh, Tony Lapia walked into a couple of good lefts and rights. Tony Lapia comes out left and right, kicks at him straight away over the top with the right hand.
Yes, Tony Lapia taking no nonsense tonight from Steve Vick.
Steve Vick warned for holding. Now let's see what happens here. Tony Lapia is obviously trying to take Steve Vick on at his own game, at a kicking game. Whether this is going to be going into the hornet's nest or not, I don't know. Still very early on in the fight. Oh, that was a low one. Aha.
What will happen here?
I think we're going to get a little bit of a recess. Absolutely. He'll take a seat. Tony has to go into the neutral corner. A lot of stomach definition on Tony. Obviously a lot of work in the gym to get right. Steve's just getting himself gathered together, so to speak. Hands free. We're ready to roll. Okay. Oh, lovely right. But then Tony Lapia comes straight back with the right as well. Steve Superfoot comes straight on with that roundhouse right as well. These two boys are blazing away.
Steve Vick showing then that he can kick with both legs equally as well.
Yeah. Steve's got good hand speed too, but Tony Lapia is a very, very strong customer. He has not got this belt on his waist without knowing what to do. And, oh, both fighters sneaking in a good kick then. More Tony Lapia than I would say Steve Super.
See him thrusting that left foot out there. Because Tony Lapia shrugs it aside and moves in.
These boys are very, very fit. You can see the muscle definition in their backs. They obviously train very, very hard. We don't know the ages of these fighters, but I would assume they're around that 24 age bracket.
Yes, these guys are obviously approaching their peaks. And Steve Vick missing with that back kick then. Oh. Tony coming in with that...
Geez, he gets that kick up very well. That was 3 kicks in a row, right over the top. He threw that too high then.
Mate, he can kick holes in the roof, this guy.
Completion of round 3.
No, but he's got beautiful kicks. They're very exciting kicks, those reverse turning kicks and reverse hook kicks. And, of course, his sliding turning kick is a winner. Scores points all the time.
Round 3 in the super welterweight bout.
Both fighters earning a well-earned rest.
Yeah, mate, I don't think a minute would be long enough for me. I'd need a couple of days between rounds. Just a couple of days. The boys are in centre ring. And Steve just getting ready, loosening those legs all the time. Let's see how it opens up. Comes out with a left kick again. Right kick back, right again from Lapia.
Lapia trying to work Steve's legs, trying to wear them out.
He's obviously prepared to have a go, and he's quite confident with his ability to do that. Boys are hanging on here in close. The ref's going to have to step in a minute. They've broken of their own accord.
Tony Lapia would be better to get inside of Steve Vick. I mean, if he can get inside, that's the way to go for him.
These kicks are going to have to take a toll on both the man delivering the kick and the man receiving the kick. So it's just going to be a matter of who wears first.
That's right. Attrition, mate. Attrition.
You like that word, attrition?
Oh, yes. There he goes, that nice jumping back kick from
oh,
Steve Vick.
He spun that around too. Lovely. He's got him back in the corner. Now can Tony inflict a little bit of punishment on him to stop Steve from bringing those big kicks out?
Steve Vick tying him up pretty well and getting out of that corner.
He spins out of that corner very well, doesn't he?
He moves well. I just love his kicking style. He's obviously done a martial art like Taekwondo or Hapkido, a Korean martial art.
Got good balance on his feet. You'll see many a time there he actually balances on one foot for a long period of time.
There he goes, whipping that reverse hook kick around again, missing Tony.
They're getting close. The two boys are a little bit tired, I would say, here. Having a well-earned rest midway through this round. Ref breaks them apart, pulls them back into the centre of the ring, and the boys are back in it. Oh! And I think that'll be classified as a slip. I wouldn't call that a knockdown.
No, he bounced off Tony Lapia.
It's a hard one to judge at times, isn't it? Whether you actually have received a blow, a counter punch, or a counter kick when you do go in for something like that. But once again, another slip.
This canvas, mate, that's something has to be done.
It doesn't seem to be the logo that's causing the problem either. It just seems to be the canvas in general. So we can't blame Powers Bitter. Ooh, a couple of exchanges there when the boys went after one another.
No, but it has to be pointed out too that Steve Vick, his kicks are very high, and of course when you're kicking that high, it is very difficult to keep your balance.
Absolutely, the crowd comes to life, and I wonder why. Round 4 may be the answer to that question. We'll find out in a moment. There's a large amount of ladies in the audience tonight too, Greg, and that's
great
good to see,
mate. Well, it is a bit of a gamble by Mema Promotions when you consider that there was a world kickboxing fight between Stan the Man. So that was a big night in the entertainment centre, and to follow on from that is a big gamble. But looking at the crowd, it looks like it has paid off.
Well, out they come. Round 4. Let's see how it pans out.
Tony Lapia knows one way, that is forward.
And he goes after it, doesn't it? Steve is very good with his hands as well.
Steve Vick has to cover up here at the moment because Tony is just trying to work him into that corner, and he's working his body, but the referee steps in.
He's giving Tony Lapia a little bit of a talking to about the height there. Some of those blows, and now Steve Vick's got to go after him again. It's always the challenger that's got to take it up to the champion, I think.
It's very hard to get that belt from the champion.
Lapia's just doing quite well at this point in time. I'd say this is a very even card so far. Not much in either round, and I would split it at the moment and say it's a 50-50 ratio.
Usually coming in with an axe kick, that is a very, very powerful kick by Steve Vick if it connects.
Oh, gee, there's a big roundhouse kick from tremendous quality in that. It didn't connect. If it would have, I think we would have seen somebody's head in the
heads roll, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. The referee undecided then about coming in.
Looking at Tony Lapia's face, it looks like he has taken a bit around the head region. There he goes again.
A couple of those kicks, and that's definitely a knockdown.
There's that big roundhouse kick by...
That is a big knockdown. Big knockdown, and I tell you what, Tony Lapia is not going to get up from this one.
He'd be mad if he did, mate.
That was that devastating kick that you called it, mate, but that stopped him. Good night, Tony. The champion went down gallantly, but he's just up against a man that is a very classy kickboxer in the true sense of the word.
He's brilliant. Steve Vick is brilliant.
Oh, look at the replay. Right over the top of the guard. Tony Lapia had no chance at all to respond to that.
Steve Vick going for that head all night, tapping it a few times and then coming up with a winner.
Well, he's proved to be Superfoot, without any shadow of a doubt. That connected very hard with the side of the head, and there was just no way in the world that Tony Lapia, champion as he might be, was going to get up from the canvas.
There's Steve Vick, Marie Stratton.
A little bit of concern over him here at the moment. They're just the doctor's in there at the moment, just checking him out. They'll take the gloves off.
But it's great to see a kicker like this in the ring, Steve Vick. He's great for the sport of kickboxing. And very, very...
Very much so. Tony Lapia gets up. The crowd gives him a big round of applause.
Yeah, they are great mates.
1 minute 40 into the 5th round. So the South Pacific Super Welterweight title goes to Queensland. The gold shorts.
Alan McQuillan will be presenting the belt to Steve Super Kick Vick.
Super kick.
And Steve will be having a few words, I believe.
Well, he doesn't have to say too much. I think he proved it all tonight.
Well, as the old saying goes, actions speak louder than words.
Well, that belt looks pretty good around his waist, and it's going to have to be a good man to go after it. Very good man to go after it and take that belt away from him.
I'd just like to make a very special thanks today. My trainer, Wayne Spencer, who's given a lot of his time to prepare me for this fight. only had a month to prepare for this fight, and he's done a great job. And also, a very special friend and a great fighter, Rich is an excellent prospect, and he's really helped me out with my training. That coming down every morning, and push me through my pace, things like that. And to my girlfriend for putting up with me for the last month, and to you people coming to watch.